Hello my dear students and welcome back to our course of lectures. Today we're going to discuss with you conversations. As you remember from the first lecture, you already know how to communicate with your team workers, but you also should be able to keep in touch with your employer or boss. That's why you need a basic knowledge of business English. And today you will receive them. But first let's take a look onto our lessons plan. Main topic, conversation. I will give you some useful phrases. Then we continue to discuss grammar. Today it will be perfect tenses. And the last will be pronunciation, as always. So let's get started. When you are trying to start a conversation, you should use the moment of asking, let us say so. And you can do it with the phrases like, am I talking to? When you are trying to address to someone face to face, or when you are making a call ring. Also, you can say, I would like to speak to, when you already know for whom you are searching. Or you can say, is there a chance to speak to? Then you will receive an answer, or you can answer like, yes, it is, you are, or you can also ask in opposite, who is asking? Or you can say that, I'm afraid, but, and explain why you can't make a meeting. Also for this you can use unfortunately or hold on in the case when you need some time to check information and to find out more details. If you are leaving a message, you should use phrases like I would like to and then explain what you want, or I would like you to leave a message. It means that you want to receive a feedback or message back. Then you should give a reasoning why you are asking for this person or why you are calling or writing. So the reason I'm calling is the next. Or you can just say cannot get through to. If it's need to give more detail or if you want to ask for more details, then you just can use phrases like can you tell me, or can you give me context, or I didn't catch that, can you explain to me one more time? Let's take a look onto our example where we use such phrases. Am I talking to Mr. Andrew Smith? Я говорю з містером Ендрю Смітом. I'm sorry, but Mr. Smith is not in the office right now. Вибачте, але містера Сміта зараз немає в офісі. Would you like to leave a message or to call back? Можливо, ви бажаєте залишити повідомлення або зателефонувати пізніше. Can you tell me when he is coming back? Чи можете підсказати, коли він повернеться? Can you give me his phone number? Чи можете дати його номер телефону? So, when you already made a leading conversation, you should make an agreement or arrange a meeting. For arranging a meeting, you use phrases like, let's meet, or is it okay for you to meet then or then? Or is it better to meet at, when you want to change the time or data? After it, you should set a time. You can use such phrases like, it's a little bit of earlier or late, and then you are naming your own time. When everything is agreed, you can say like, deal, definitely, or certain. Let's take a look at the example. How about meeting on Monday at 3 p.m.? It is a bit earlier. How about at 4 p.m.? No problem, I will see you then. Great. Then we should finish our conversation when we already discussed all details, and finishing of conversation will be divided into 3 steps. First, it will be pre-closing. You should please the person with whom are you communicating. You can say it was like, it's been nice, or it was great talking to you. Or you can say like, it was great to talk to you, but I really need to leave or go. You can use this phrase in the situation when you want to interrupt the speaker. Then it will be following up. you should say like, I'll send you the file or email if you want to do it. Or if you need a callback, you can just ask for it. And you can also ask for a schedule the next meeting. If you need some feedback, you can just say like that you are waiting for it. And the last one, it's closing. You can say just bye, see you soon, see you later, or keep in touch if you haven't discussed everything and you want to continue your discussion. Let's take a look at the example. It's been great talking to you, but I have to catch a plane at 6. I'll give you a call when I come to the city next time. And let's keep in touch by email. Great, done. Now we're gonna discuss with you a perfect tenses. And as usual, we're gonna start with a present. Of course, present perfect has its own markers to identify easily this time in sentence or in a text or in a speech. And markers are the next: ever, just, already, yet, recently, lately, or today. All in all, present perfect is used to connect past and present time, to show result, or to show that action is unfinished, or to show that some period of time is also unfinished for now. Let's take a look at our structure. The first place is taken by subject, then we use modal verb, it, have or has in a present perfect, and the latest place will be taken by verb in a third form or with ending ed, depending if this verb is regular or irregular. If we are trying to make a negative form, then the first place will be taken by subject, then we add modal verb like have or has, then part not, verb, and ending ed or third form. When we are making question, we should put our modal verb on the first place, then it will be followed by subject, and then by verb in a third form or with ending ed. Let's look in which situation we can use present perfect. For example, when such situation that is still the same as it was in the past, but we want to emphasize that fact that situation hasn't changed. Like, your advice has always been extremely helpful, so nothing changed because your advice was helpful earlier and it is still the same. Next example, we haven't yet received the remittance for the goods supplied to you, so still no result. And the second situation when we can use present perfect, when action just stopped recently and we want to show it in the text or in the speech. I have typed 5 letters, or I have just received your email. Next time we're gonna discuss it's the past perfect tense. It doesn't have any markers, but we know that we use this time to describe action before another action. And the structure will be the next. First place is taken by subject, then we add modal verb like had here, and the verb in a third form or with ending ed. In a case if we are trying to make negative form, it will be the first place taken by subject, then we add modal verb had in our case, because it's past perfect, that's why have we transformed into had. Then we add part not, and then we add verb in a third form or just with ending ed. If we are trying to make question from our sentence, then we should put our modal verb on the first place, and it will be followed by subject and verb one more time in a third form or with ending ed. Let's take a look. On situation, there is actually only one situation, because past perfect is used for action that taken place before another action in the past. So, I had typed 5 pages when my computer suddenly crashed. The next is before 2002, I hadn't worked abroad. And the last one, after Sophie had finished her work, she went to lunch. It means that firstly, she finished her work and only then she went to lunch. But all this action was in the past. One happened before another, and the one that happened before another will be in a past perfect. The latest action will be in past simple. Our next tense to discuss is future perfect. There is no any markers, we just know that this time tense is trying to show us the finished action by a point of time in the future. Let's take a look onto our structure. The first place is taken by subject, then we add our part will and have like a modal verbs. And only after it we will add verb in a third form or with ending ed. If we are trying to make a negative form from it, then subject, will, between will and have we put part not, will not have, and then we can add our verb in a third form or with ending ed. If it's gonna be a question, then we put our modal will on the first place, it will be followed by subject, then we add have like optional modal verb that help us to maintain the first one, the main. In the future perfect, it's will. So, one more time, will, subject, have, and then verb in a third form or with ending ed depending if it's regular or irregular verb. And use of the future perfect. We use future perfect form when we look back to the past from a point in the future. We usually use a time phrase, for example, like tomorrow, or for 3, 2 years, 1 day, as you wish. And we will look at it in examples. Do you think she'll have seen the doctor by 4 o'clock? Next month, my parents will have been together for 30 years. So it is the process that started before, when they got married, and it is continuing until now because they are still together, and we have identifier of a time for 30 years. Next example, at the end of this month, they will have been in their house for 1 year. And last one, next month I will have worked for the company for 6 years. The same situation that you started to work in the past and this action is still in a progress, which means that you are still working for the same company, and we have identifier of a time, 6 years. Great, done. Now we are coming to the third stage of our lecture, and it will be pronunciation practice. As you know, firstly, I read, you repeat after me, and then we are trying to make it quicker. So, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Quicker. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Yes. The second one. I have got a date at 7:45. I'll see you at the gate, so don't be late. I have got a date at 7:45. I'll see you at the gate, so don't be late. Now we are going to make it more complicated because our sound th that all students love in the points. So, nevertheless, the never-ending thoughtlessness of never-thinking thing. One more time, quicker. Nevertheless, the never-ending thoughtlessness of never-thinking thing. Great we are, but I guess I can repeat for you even one more time. Nevertheless, the never-ending thoughtlessness of never-thinking thing. And a little bit longer. The last but not the least, Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. A pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, there is a pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. So let's try to do it one more time. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. A pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, there is a pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. Great we are. And the last one for today, the next. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my butter better. So it was better Betty bought a bit of better butter. Great. Let's try to pronounce it one more time. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter is bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my butter better, so it was better Betty bought a bit of better butter. Yes, happily we finished it, and now we can cope with explaining of your home task. And now we can continue with the fourth stage of our lesson. Here I will explain you your home task. I will ask you to compose your own dialogue for 10 lines using a special phrases that we've learned today. And as usual for grammar, I'll ask you to make 5 sentences for present perfect, past perfect and future perfect tenses. Of course, I also want you to learn these phrases and try to practice your pronunciation. Thank you for the lesson. For today it's over. Bye bye.